What's up guys, it's your boy Crumble, and today I wanted to share with you what in my opinion are the top 6 most profitable endgame idol strategies in Legacy of Phrecia. It's been a while since the event started now. I think meta is pretty much forming up for the best strategies, and I wanted to share my thoughts and based on my experience just give you an idea of what's good and what isn't. There's a lot of strategies going on with idols, obviously, and you can really min-max. But I think there's a couple of strategies that really stand out. So without further ado, I'm just going to go into what I think are the best ones. A couple of disclaimers before I start. I want to give you as much detail as possible, but I also kind of want to keep this video as short as possible because there's a lot to talk about. If I do miss anything or if I make a mistake, please let me know in the comment section below. I'll make sure to pin a comment if it's something really big. In no way whatsoever am I the person who came up with these strategies, but I am the person that's going to put them together for you so you know what you're working with. The most important disclaimer, even if you don't really care about any of these strategies, but you're mapping, just have a look at what idols these strategies are using. Knowing what idols sell for a lot and even like thinking about recombining certain idols can net you a lot of profit in the event right now. Recombining idols is kind of broken. You can make a shitload of money just by recombining idols. I'm at the point where I don't even bother buying idols to recombine them. I can just recombine whatever I get and I'm still making profit. Just earlier today while I was at work, I sold an idol that I recombined for 44 divines, and the 2 separate idols I used to recombine would cost like a total of 3.5 div or something like that. It's really strong. Just keep an eye out for the idols and like know what works. Also check prices, of course. Just keep in mind, guys, I have a full-time job. A little bit broke, so I need to work. So if I seem tired, once again, if I'm missing something, just let me know in the comment section below. And sorry in advance if I'm not like too excited to share this information. I'll do my best though, regardless. Just so you know, I will have a lot of links in the description. Link for each strategy will be in the description with a little bit of extra information. There will be a link to this idol planner, which is amazing. And without further ado, let's get into the first strategy. So in my opinion, one of the 2 best strategies at the moment, like absolute best, is obviously fubgun's giant exiles or whatever it's called. You can't really talk about profitability in mapping without mentioning fubgun. I mean, come on, the guy's been making multiple mirrors just by mapping every single league. I'm not sure why he's receiving some hate here and there. Like, he's not talking shit. Like, literally everything he says is true. His strategies are like true and tested. Only thing he's probably not mentioning as much, maybe because it's obvious. I mean, the guy plays 20 hours a day, like at league start or at the event start. So it's normal for him to be making a lot more than your average Joe, like me, for example. Other than that, his strategies are exactly what he says. I've checked what he says, so like credit to fubgun. I've been a fan of him for a while. I've watched him even before Affliction League, where he like grew a lot. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into exiles. So Wealthy Exile or Giant Exile or whatever is a strategy where you just go into a map, you have a chance, like almost a 50% chance to spawn like 40 or even... There's supposed to be 48 exiles, but supposedly there's a limit to how many you can spawn per map. For the sake of this, let's say you can spawn up to 48. I don't think anyone's tested like how many exactly you can spawn. The strategy basically revolves around you going and killing these very strong exiles that are sometimes giga juiced. They have multiple mods. They're possessed. They can drop all sorts of stuff like Scarabs, Divines, Valdo puzzle boxes, Hinekorolocks, mirrors. They can drop pretty much everything. The way that we scale this strategy is basically by putting rituals in our maps and then a lot of map effect modifier. There's 4 Conqueror idols in the strategy, and the single most important mod on each of these idols is your maps have 12% chance to contain 12 additional rogue exiles. The more important part is 12%, so you can get up to 48%, and then whatever amount of exiles you can get for like the most convenient price is what you should go for. Ideally, you want to get all perfect. But the good thing about this mod is that it actually stacks. So you essentially can get up to 48% chance to spawn 48 exiles. You mix that mod with a little bit of increased effect of explicit modifiers, yeah, you get a lot of juice in your maps. The second mod you need on these Conquer Idols is either 3% increased effect of explicit modifiers on your map per explicit modifier, or 5% increased effect per map quality. So that's like a 20% increased effect. Now, for this strategy, you're running 8 mod maps, 20% quality on the map. So you're really getting a lot of value for these mods. I know these mods are super expensive, the idols are super expensive on trade, but it really is just so scalable. It can get insane. Like if you go to fubgun stream, for example, and watch him for 5 minutes, I guarantee if he's mapping, you're gonna hear like 10 things, at least 10 things in 5 minutes. And it's so like Divines, Valdo maps, whatnot. The third mod on these Conquer Idols is your maps with ritual altars always have 4 ritual altars, and you need only one of your Conquer Idols to have this mod. The reason why we use this mod is because with ritual, we get to spawn some of the exiles again, and they scale exponentially. So you can have like rituals that contain like 20 exiles or something like that. It gets really insane. Yes, they're a little bit hard to do, but if you have a strong enough build, you can definitely manage, and it will be really, really rewarding. This is something I probably forgot to mention, but for this strategy, you need a really min-max build. Like builds get expensive when you want to do this content, and there's only a couple of builds that actually are managing to do this content when the idols are really min-maxed. Now, one of your Conquer Idols, you can get Scarabs found in your maps are more likely to be less common varieties. This will give you a little bit more profit. Like it's not massive, but it's definitely good to have. And then for like the other mods, like filler mods, you can put whatever you want. I think map device has 5% chance not to consume Scarabs is decent. But then again, am I really ever going to get that setup? I don't really think so. So to be fair, this is just like a filler one. For this strategy, you also want 2 totemic idols, and they should have 12% increased effect of explicit modifiers, 10% increased pack size of your maps affected by Fortune Favors the Brave, and then 10% increased quantity of your maps affected by Fortune Favors the Brave. You actually need those on your burial idols as well. So that's like 4 idols that have 10% pack size, 10% quantity, and 12% increased effect of modifiers. That scales extremely insanely. Like it's just insane how good this can get. Also, like these idols are probably worth, if you want to get a whole setup, it's probably worth a couple mirrors. So it's really insane. The increased rarity of items found in your maps is just like, again, a filler mod. You don't really need that. You don't even need like all 3 mods. You can start off by having 1 or 2 mods of these, and then you can scale. Like the rarity of items found is like your last thing you should get. You don't even need it. Just forget about it. Then on one of these, 1x3s or 3x1s, you want to have wild rogue exiles in your maps have 100% increased chance to be possessed by a tormented spirit. This will make your exiles possessed always, and that will definitely increase your loot by a shit ton. So definitely get that mod on one of these. And then for the last idols, like all you care about is the increased chance to contain ritual altars. You need a total of 92 because rituals have 8% base chance to spawn in your maps. So if you get 92, that's up, like that gets to up to 100. Then additionally, the second best mod you can get, unique monsters in your maps have 100% increased chance to drop Scarabs. This is important. This will give you a lot more Scarabs. This will make you a lot of profit. So if you're going for minor idols, I suggest you definitely need at least ritual spawn chance. And then unique monsters have 100% increased chance to drop Scarabs, and you need that 4 times. Now for the rest, you can get 10% increased Scarabs found in your maps, or you can get some influence, like either the Searing Exarch one or the Eater, depends on what you're running. And really, you want to be running the one that your build is most comfortable with. So the least negative mods for your build is what like altars you should be running. I'm not going to get into this strategy too much more. I want to get on to the next strat. I'm just going to say on your map device, you go for Fortune Favors the Brave. For influence, you choose either Exarch or Eater, depending on your build again. Your Scarabs for this should be Anarchy Scarab of gigantification. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing that correctly. You need that twice. You need one Titanic Scarab, one Titanic Scarab of Legend, and the last one is Scarab of Wisps. Not Ritual Scarab of Wisps, just Scarab of Wisps. This strategy is tested and tried. People tried it in Settlers. It wasn't like even that juiced as it is with idols, and people were still dropping raw mirrors. So you can imagine how good this is. There's already plenty of people in the league, or in the event, sorry, that have dropped like mirrors, multiple. Fubgun has dropped 2. I have a friend that's dropped 1. I know one other guy who's dropped 1. I saw on Discord 2 people that dropped mirrors. So it's just like, definitely this is one of the mirror printing strategies. If you want to get more info about this, go on Fubgun's channel, check the strategy out. It's amazing. I forgot to say, you use 8 mod maps. If you can handle Deli on them, get Deli. And this first strategy leads me to my second strategy that I think is really, really good in Phrecia. And the strategy is T70 8 mod Deli Farm. So basically, this strat is about farming 8 mod maps in T17. Obviously, you're farming either City Square or Toxic Sewer, because these are the maps that most people are doing. You can sell these maps on certain Discords. If you check TFT, you'll see that people are actually selling their maps at like 10C a piece, or like 10 maps per div. With regex, and then if you have quant and pack size on them, it can get a little bit more. Just to give you an example, I've run 5 or 6 T17 maps with not even min-maxed outers for this, and I've already dropped like a bunch of 8 mod maps. These were also, the blank spots here were also 8 mods that I run for my Exiles. So you can see that like every map gets you, every T17 gets you about between 30 and 60 8 mod maps, which is like great profit, and you can run them fast if your build can handle it. So it's a really good strategy. Just gonna go over the idols for this strat. You need 2 Conquer idols. They should have explicit modifiers and 6% increased pack size. This is basically what matters for your map drops. Then anything else I've put here is fillers, as I said. Just get 2 of those Conquerors, pack size, and increased effect of explicit modifiers. Then you're gonna need 6 3x1s or 1x3s that have increased effect of explicit modifiers again. On them, you can also have quantity and pack size, and using Fortune Favors the Brave. Like, if you're running Exiles and you're farming your own maps, you can just move over some of your idols from there to this idol setup, and it'll be perfectly fine. And for your minor idols, literally all you care about is 2 mods. One of them is your map contain 5% more monster packs consisting of difficult and rewarding monsters. The one that actually makes your maps BT16 is tier 1 to 15 maps found have 10% chance to become 1 tier higher. You get 4 of these minor idols, and then for uniques you get singular focus, so you can drop your favorite map. Obviously, try to have all your favorite map slots already completed, and depending on if you're running Ether or Exarch, you want to get Eldritch Gaze or whatever the other unique idol is called. I actually forgot the name. Yeah, you use Singular Focus, Eldritch Gaze, and I don't know, I had this saved, but wait, let me check. Unique idol. Wrath of the Cosmos, I think, is the Exarch one. Yep, Wrath of the Cosmos. So either Wrath of the Cosmos or Eldritch Gaze, depending on what is more comfortable for your build. Now, obviously, you're running Fortune Favors the Brave because of these modifiers. And then for your Scarabs, you want to use 1 of Escalation, 1 of Multitude for the Cartography Scarabs. You want to use 1 Beyond Scarab of Corruption, so all your mats are corrupted for 8 mods. Then you're going to do Horn Scarab of Bloodlines, like this is the more expensive one. It really helps you drop more maps. And now, depending on if you want to have Deli layers on your 8 mod maps that you drop, you can use Delirium Scarab of Delusions. If you don't want to have Deli layers, just get another Escalation, I guess. No, another Multitude, sorry. I think Multitude is the one that we can add. Yep. So Cartography Scarab of the Multitude should give you more maps. Just use 2 of those. Also, one more thing. When you're running this strategy, you want to get a T17. You want to add this little regex in your search bar, and what you're looking for is at least 100% more maps. So this regex will highlight all the maps that have at least 100% more maps when you're rolling your T17s. And then once you roll them like that, you can check whether there's some mods that you can't run or you don't want to run. But that's basically it. Also, I suggest if you're running these maps, try to roll these maps in a tab that's like at least 1 or 2 div. Because sometimes while you're rolling, someone can message you to buy a map. So if you're rolling like 20 maps, you can roll 10, and then you can roll another 10, and your previous 10 in the meantime, like 1 or 2 of them can actually sell. Especially if you get more Scarabs. Some of the more Scarab maps really sell for a lot. This actually leads me to my next strategy. The next strategy I wanted to talk about is T17 Strongbox Scarab farming. And this strategy is really, really profitable. You can literally loot up to like 100 div a map, but your maps take a while. So like your average will be like 2 maps per hour, so like 30 minutes per map. Because first you need to enter the map and roll some strong boxes with your cows, and then you need to run the map. And you need a strong build to do that because the maps can be kind of scary. Basically what the strategy revolves around is like you spam a shitload of strong boxes in your map, then you make them openable again, then you increase the scarab drops from these, and then you're basically swimming in scarabs. You can drop literally hundreds of scarabs per map. Some of them will be pretty rare and expensive. This strategy is actually courtesy to Scarab Lord 666. The name definitely checks out. You can check his video. It's on Reddit. I'll link it in the description. There's a bunch of useful comments. Now the strategy is really expensive in min-max, but this is what the idols basically consist of. So for your Conqueror idols, basically want one Conqueror idol that has scarabs found in your maps are more likely to be less common variety. Then all of them need to have 9% chance for strong boxes to be openable again. Other mods just fit in as much increased effect of explicit modifiers as you can. There's 2 mods that give you increased effect of explicit modifiers. And have as many of these as possible. So if you check, this is like your definite setup. There's one mod that you can use as a substitute to increase the effect of explicit modifiers, and that's additional strong boxes, but it's not really that strong. Still, if it's cheaper or if it's more convenient for you to get additional strong boxes instead of increased effect of modifiers, then definitely get that. But increased effect of explicit modifiers is definitely the best in slot. Then you use 4 totemic idols. On them, you want additional strong box, increased effect of explicit modifiers, and all of them need to have rare monsters in your maps have 60% increased chance to drop scarabs per monster modifier affecting them. Basically, the strategy scales modifiers affecting the monsters in strong boxes, then you have a lot of strong boxes and they drop a lot of scarabs. You need 4 of these, and then the last 4 idols are basically Scarab block idols. So Scarab Lord was using Loved by the Sun, Dimensional Barrier, Ominous Silence, and Trade Embargo. If you really want to min-max this, you can check and guess which scarabs actually, which League Mechanic scarabs actually sell for the least, and then like block those 4. That will definitely increase your profit over the long run. Now for this strategy, you want to do maps with at least, I guess, like 150, maybe 200 more scarabs on T17s, and then you also want to make sure that T17s you're running have good layouts so you can actually open up the strong boxes. The strat runs ambush, so you can get more strong boxes obviously. Then you can do whatever, Eater or Exarch again, depending on your build. Always take the Scarab duplication node and quantity. For Scarabs, you want to do Horned Scarabs of Nemesis. This gives more modifiers to rare monsters. 2 Ambush Scarabs for more strong boxes. Obviously, that will give you another 10. Ambush Scarab of Containment, which will pack all your monsters from the map into strong boxes, which increases their quantity. Then Ambush Scarab of Hidden Compartments, which gives you a 15% extra chance to open strong boxes, and that stacks with your idols, and you'll be opening strong boxes for a little while in that map. When you enter the map, you initially want to roll your strong boxes, but you can do that in 2 different ways. So one way is to actually enter the map and roll all of the strong boxes with cows. I forgot to mention that you can actually get one of the modifiers that like makes all your strong boxes rare. I think that's Conqueror Idol modifier. I'm not sure. It's not necessary. You can also manually make your strong boxes rare. Just ID them, Scour, Auk, and they'll be rare, and then you chaos spam them basically, and you need to chaos spam them until you see either of these two mods. So one of the mods is strong boxes have 3 additional rare monsters, which obviously works great for this strategy because rare monsters are what drop scarabs. And the second one is Stream of Monsters. I actually don't know if Stream of Monsters is good, but Scarab Lord on Reddit said that he rose for that. So I'm assuming, like, the guy literally had one map where he dropped 99 divine. I'm assuming the guy knows what he's talking about, and I'm going to leave the strategy at that. I think this is one of the strongest strategies. This is definitely a top 2 contender. There's 2 strategies, in my opinion, that are top 1 contender. One of them is Exiles. And the second strategy I'm going to introduce to you right now, you probably didn't expect that, but this next strategy that's a contender for number 1 is actually Ritual. Now you're probably wondering, like, what the hell is this guy talking about? Ritual is shit. It's always been. No, Ritual is not shit. When you have ways of scaling your tribute and making your rituals have a lot of tribute, Ritual can get insane. Trust me, guys. I don't remember which league was after Ritual. I think it was Ultimatum. But during Ultimatum, I single-handedly got 7 or 8. I don't remember correctly, but I think it was at least, definitely at least 7 literal mirrors in my Ritual screens. Granted, back then we could have 5 rituals per map, and I had to buy so many blood vessels that, like, every mirror cost me half a mirror. But then again, if I farmed 7 mirrors in about 10 days doing Ritual and it only cost me 3.5 mirrors, that was like 3.5 mirrors profit in 10 days. I am telling you guys, Ritual right now is insane. People are still sleeping on it. So after watching this video, make sure you check the prices and see if, especially if Ritual is something that you're interested in doing. Now here's some proof for you guys. Like this guy, Kairo Nami, actually shared that he got 4 apothecaries from Ritual. You're like, oh, this is just pure shitty luck. You know, everyone can get like some random shit from Ritual. Well, then behold this. This guy got 2 mirrors in I don't know how many rituals, but according to him was less than 80. So as you can see, this says 14.6. This is like 1 mirror here next to an essence. It's not deferred. And he's got another mirror here next to a jewel, and it's not deferred. So literally we have proof. And you can see he's got a bunch of other stuff in his ritual that he's deferred. And this is what's great about the ritual strategy. You can get a lot of things. You have 11 rerolls or 12. All of your rerolls are free. And in some rituals, you can get up to 140k tribute. I'm telling you guys, I can guarantee you, Ritual will be printing mirrors. It might even be better than Exiles. I don't want to throw like any big words right now, but trust me on this. I'll come back at it in a week and we'll see if I was right. But Ritual has so much potential and people are sleeping on it. These are the idols for the Ritual strat. They can be min-maxed, and this is like more of a min-max version, but you can definitely start off easy and then build up into the actual min-max thing. You're using 4 Conqueror idols. One of your Conqueror idols needs to have your map with Ritual Altars always have 4 Ritual Altars, as usual. This will give you, like, this is like one of the most important mods in the strategy. It's really important. Second mod on your Conqueror idol should be Ritual Altars in your maps allow rerolling favors an additional time. On this tool, when you go to edit it, it will not let you make this 2 additional times for some reason. It only allows you to have 1 additional time. But if you go on trade and you actually check for Ritual Altars in your maps allow rerolling favors an additional time and do a minimum of 2, you actually see that you can have 4 Conqueror idols that reroll 2 additional times. So that's 8 total for the 4 Conqueror idols. This is actually really strong. It's as if you're running 4 maps every map you're running. It's insane. It's really, really good. Especially for finding those like higher value items. This is so strong. So you need 3 of these mods, ritual altars in your maps allow rerolling favors 2 additional times. Paired with completing the final ritual altar in your maps has a chance to drop a blood-filled vessel. Get as high percentage of that as you can. And then the 4th one needs to have 2 additional times rerolling. And 1, your maps contain 4 ritual altars. After that, you need 3 2x1s. They can be any shape. On them, you want to have ritual altars have 25% increased number of spawn monsters at once, and 75% increased chance of ritual altars with special rewards. The special rewards one is kind of important. Stack this as much as you can. The other mode is also really important. Last but not least, you need the minor idols that have unique monsters slain at ritual altars in your maps grant 60% more tribute. If you have 10 of those minor idols, that's 600% more tribute. The other mode on the minors, you want rerolling favors of ritual altars in your maps cost 12% reduced tribute. This doesn't need to be 12%. You just need to get like a combined 100%. So if you get 10% on all 10 minor idols, then that's going to be enough. Then your rerolling will be absolutely free. And then last but not least, on all of these idols, you need to get like 100% chance to spawn ritual if you want to run something else on the map device. If you don't want to run anything else on the map device, just grab ritual and you'll be done. I wanted to give a shout out to Season44 on Reddit, who 2 days ago posted his way of running these maps. And I think it's a really, really solid one. So I wanted to share with you guys. So basically what he does is he runs 3 maps initially. Those 3 maps are running Ritual Scarab of Abundance twice, Ritual Scarabs of Selectiveness twice, and 1 Ritual Scarab of Wisps. Now he ran those 3 maps, and out of those 3 maps he gets 12 blood vessels. 3 of those blood vessels will have bosses, and what's something really important is that when you go into the map, the first ritual that you do needs to be at the boss. So City Square is really good for this because there's almost always a ritual next to the boss. But if there isn't a ritual next to the boss, you need to drag the boss all the way to the first ritual that you can. Then you complete your rituals. This way, you get 12 vessels. 3 of them, because you're running 3 maps, will actually have bosses inside. After you complete those 3 maps, your next map, which is your 4th map, should use 3 blood vessels, 2 scarabs of abundance. Then your next 3 maps also run 3 vessels and 2 scarabs of abundance, but they're not your boss maps. So all of your maps still give you like a shit ton of tribute, but there's one map that gets like up to 140. That's the triple boss one. That's the one that's gonna give you like the most insane rewards. Keep in mind, ritual is a bit of an RNG strat, but with this setup, you can definitely farm a lot of currency. I think I'm going to be building into this strat over the next couple of days just to have it. I might go back to Exiles, but this is what I'll be farming most likely, just to like test it and see if it's what I think it is. Because if it is, then we're gonna be swimming in mirrors by the end of the event. The next strategy is not everyone's cup of tea, but number 5 is Harbinger. This league, we actually can scale Harbinger a lot. You can get up to 27 Harbinger bosses in your map, and that's a lot of currency that you can drop, and especially with that mod that says currency shards dropped by Harbingers in your map can drop as currency items instead. You're definitely bound to get a lot of fracture orbs, which are like 4 or 5D at the moment. Occasionally, if you drop a mirror shard and you RNG, you can RNG into a mirror. With 27 bosses per map, I don't think that's too insane, to be fair. But yeah, the strategy is pretty simple. You basically get 4 Conqueror Idols with your maps contain an additional Harbinger. Actually, your maps contain 2 additional Harbingers. One of them needs to have the currency shards dropped can turn into actual currency. This is how it looks, basically. Then you need 4 3x1s that have 1 additional Harbinger and 25% chance to be replaced by a powerful Harbinger boss. This is like a must. It's really important to get 100% chance to turn your Harbies into Boss Harbies. And then you get 4 minor idols that have increased cooldown recovery rates, so your Harbingers actually respawn faster. You can do the maps faster that way. And then 50% chance to contain an additional Harbinger or less. This needs to stack up to 100%. Anything above 100 on the 4 idols combined will be unnecessary, because 150% or 200% doesn't mean 2 additional Harbingers. It's just up to 1. And with this strat, You're running 4 Harbinger Scarabs, 1 of our hordes, because this will double your shards that you drop. Then Harbinger, the map device, so this gets up to 27 if I'm not mistaken. That's 2. And then you have another 6 and 6, 12. That's 14. Then you have 2 here, so that's 8. 14 plus 8, that's 22. And then you have 4 on these idols, that's 26. And the 100% chance for the additional is 27. You want to run these on any T16 map. You can run these on 8 mod maps. You can run extra content with this. It's really up to you what you get on your idols. It doesn't really matter. I suggest running a map that has like a good divination card, because Harbies are known, like there's a lot of rares. They can drop some divinations. Like it's really nice if you have something extra in that strategy. But this strategy is not everyone's cup of tea. You need to be able to run Harbies. You need to have like a build with like decent clear, and that's basically it. The strategy is really good, especially if you enjoy Harbinger. You can definitely look into a mirror drop. You can look into a couple actually. We've seen previous leagues where people drop 2.5 mirrors when they really luck and turn their shards into mirror shards. But yeah, well, I think it's a good strat and it's a really viable end game. The investment is not as high as the other strats that I'm showing, so it's a very decent strat in my opinion for end game. And last but not least, Harvest. Guys, Harvest with crop rotation is absolutely OP. You can make like 7 to 8 div, maybe even more per map. It's really strong. It's really expensive to set up though. And also it can get kind of rippy. So I don't know, like consider this. If you enjoy Harvest, you can definitely make like at least 100k yellow juice on average per map. And then if you have outers, that could be a little bit more. There was a video I saw like a week ago. Someone discovered it really early, but I can't find the video. So I couldn't give credit to the person. I am sorry if you're watching this. You can drop your name in the comments and I'll put credits in the description. I apologize in advance. But yeah, this is basically very simple. You need increased effect of explicit modifiers on your Conqueror idols, and then Life Force dropped by Harvest has 50% chance to be duped and 8% chance to dupe monsters. And then you get these on all 4. For your Totemic idols, you have increased effect of modifiers, then 18% quant of Life Force and 12% Unchosen Crop Node to wield. You stack those 4 times. Then you get crop rotation, obviously. You can get Eldritch Gaze or whatever of the Cosmos it was for Exarch. On your minor idol, you can get harvest crops in your maps have 15% reduced chance to grow yellow plants. So this will actually make your crop rotation a bit more viable because you get less yellow plants, so you can scale them through the not wield mechanic. Well, actually, even one of these minor idols can be replaced by singular focus. If you want to sustain your specific map, that's perfectly fine. Or if you want to just drop a lot of maps, because I don't know, it doesn't matter. I suggest you do these in T17s. On the map device, you're actually not going to use Harvest. You're going to use Imbued Harvest. To get that through Orange Scarab of Awakening. And then your other Scarabs are 3 Cartography Scarabs of Risk, which increase the modifier, and then effective modifiers, it stacks, and you get like a lot of juice, like literally 100 yellow juice per map is the average. And then you use 1 Harvest Scarab of Doubling. That would literally double your life force. This is pretty standard. It's a very high cost of entry, but it's guaranteed profit. And if you like farming juice, then this is your strategy for you. Well, that's it from me for today, guys. I think these are definitely the best strategies at the moment. Some honorable mentions, especially if you don't have a lot of currency to start farming high-end idol strats. I want to say Syndicate farming. You can do both Gravicious and you can do Katarina for like Veldorps because they're like 9-10 div right now. Definitely Strongbox farming in T17s. I don't think, like, you can start with a cheaper setup for sure. You can do it in T16s as well. Just get like Arcanist and Diviner Strongboxes. You'll be still making some decent currency. Destructive play is kind of good. You're farming bosses. You can mix that with the Syndicate farming as well. Anything else? I don't know. That's pretty much it. Honestly, out of those 6 strategies, the cheapest ones are Harbinger and 8 mod map farming. 8 mod map farming is extremely profitable. It requires the least amount of investment. But you need to deal with Discord, map selling, and stuff like that. And you need to have stash tabs, so it's not everyone's cup of tea. But for most of these strategies, you actually need stash tabs because you're going to be getting a lot of loot. But yeah, the main takeaway from this video, guys, please check the idols I suggested. Make sure you listen to what I'm saying about the filler mods and which mods are actually important. Then price check these idols. And then when you're running whatever strat you're running, make sure you're combining idols because it's so much profit to recombine idols. It's literally insane. Anyway, I wanted to make this video short. I was probably yapping some nonsense. I was probably like trying to zoom through the video. I hope this was helpful to some of you, like at least a little bit. That's my goal. If you want to catch me streaming, sometimes I do it when I'm not at work because broke boys need to work. I'm streaming on Crumble PoE at Twitch TV. If you found something useful in this video, please consider dropping a like. And definitely if you found something wrong, say in the comments. I'll pin your comment. I'm human, I make mistakes. I'm sorry in advance. Yeah, that's basically it for me, guys. I actually want to get to farming some of the content I just talked about because I have limited time due to my job. So yeah, that's it. Bye. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you.